Hi everybody, my name is Con, and today we're going to turn these blackberry stalks into usable fiber for making cordage that can be used for other projects. Basically what I did is take all these stalks I cut green and I kept them wet and in the shade so they can rot for a couple of months. This is called retting. Basically what retting is, it's allowing all the green material to rot, and the fibers, which are actually the tubes of the plant that transport water and food, known as the xylem and phloem, those don't degrade as quickly as the green material does. So if we allow it to rot just slightly, it will make all the green material easily removable, and it'll leave all the fibers behind, allowing us to utilize them for making cordage. So here I am, just taking the bark off the blackberry stalks now. Sometimes you have to bend it back and forth to kind of get it going, but once you get your thumb under there, you'll see it just comes off real easy from that retting process. Yeah, and otherwise, take a look here. I do this for a little bit, but it's really just taking the bark off. Comes off real easy and nice. Yeah. Yeah, and just check out how long these fibers are. I mean, these are a good arm or 2 arms length worth of fibers. Anybody who's spun fibers before can tell you it's a lot nicer when you just have these nice long strips. Now, we got all this kind of eroded black stuff on the good fibers. You can see right there, I'm trying to push it off. That stuff comes off too. Again, it's from that retting process. It's all that green, used to be green material that decomposed, leaving us those fibers behind. So yeah, I'm not super meticulous about it. I leave some of it on, but yeah, it's just nice to get all that gunk off. Comes off real easy with your fingers here. There's still thorns on the blackberry. Sometimes you can use a stick to kind of knock those thorns off. I'm getting the fibers all ready, and got my little spinning stick. Sorry, a little cat fight behind me. And yeah, so just take some fibers, kind of get them started. We're going to put a couple half hitches on the stick. So you're going to see me here. I'm basically going to make a loop. Sooner or later. Alright, I'm going to make a loop and kind of just make sure the rope gets locked between itself and the stick. Don't know how else to explain a half hitch. But yeah, kind of just twist it up, make a loop, put it over, and once you got 2 of those on there, it's real sturdy. It's going to stay for you. At which point you can now spin it on your leg. So, I mean, this is the real time saver. We're basically going to spin these fibers in one direction, and then I'm going to wrap it around my hands in this Peruvian technique, and then twist them both lengths together. Okay, so right there you can see some kinks in the line. That means I spun it too much. They're not the worst thing in the world, but you don't want those, so kind of just spin the fibers not spun yet. Basically try to move that spin up the rope, and you'll get rid of those kinks. So here I am, I'm just continuing spinning. This is the kind of meditative fun part for me. I always like it. Okay, so now once you reach the end, pick up some more fibers, and what we're going to do, we're just going to interlace them. You don't exactly want one bundle on top of the other. You want them to really integrate into each other, and just to see how they're all kind of mismatched there, and then just give it some spin, just to keep them locked together. And you can turn the stick, you can turn the fibers with your hands, and that'll keep them locked in place until you can return the spinning stick back to your legs, so you can really apply more spin to the fibers. I'm pretty much done with all my fibers, so I'm going to tie one end to my forefinger there. I'm going to loop it around my middle finger, around the back of my hand, and I'm going to reposition myself so hopefully you see a little better. And then around the middle finger again. So around the back, around the middle finger, around the back, around the middle finger. Basically what this does is we're going to take the lengths off our middle finger eventually, and because we wrapped it around there, it makes this loop, so it creates a gap between the rope, so it doesn't get too tangled up in your wrist. It's kind of hard to explain, kind of hard to understand, but it's a real great method. And the advantage is, as you can see, we have both lengths now. We have both ends that we can tie together on the stick. And now we have both lengths back to back. And we're not going to spin it the same direction we did before. We're going to spin it the opposite direction. So before I was spinning away from me, now it's spinning towards me. And that's going to interlock the two fibers. And right there, you can see our cordage is being made super quick. So again, you know, it's I still got them around my middle finger with harder fibers like this. There you can see I take it off. With harder fibers like this, you just kind of have to judge whatever works for you. Again, I'm no master. I'm still kind of making this stage work out perfect for me. It's nice to get your finger in between the two lengths, like you see I'm doing there. It makes it tighter. It makes it a lot tighter. At the end of this video, I'm gonna pass the rope in front of the camera, and you'll be able to see how tight the spins are. Because the tighter the spins, the stronger the cordage. Every piece of cordage that ever broke on me was because there's one spot in it where it wasn't so tight. It wasn't so tightly spun around each other, the two lengths of rope. If you want to look more into this, there's great videos on how to make 2-ply yarn using the Peruvian technique. A lot of drop spindle spinners know it. It's my primary way to make 2-ply yarn. So yeah, if you want someone with a little bit better diction and maybe definitely better camera work, yeah, look up the Peruvian technique for making 2-ply yarn, and type in drop spindle too. There's some great YouTube videos about that. Anyways, you can see earlier I was worried about putting too much spin in, but when you're putting the two different lengths together, you really can't have too much spin. The more you spin it, the more it cinches up. You know, the tighter it is, and you know, it's not as easy to use. But if you kind of let it sit for a few days, the spin just kind of stays there, and it works out pretty good. So yeah, pretty much at the end here, just putting the final spins on. Yeah, I just kind of broke off some of the end pieces. They were kind of loose, not really working for me, pretty weak fibers, turned out. But yeah, there's my cordage, and done a lot quicker than if I did it the traditional method of spinning it with my hands, which I can show in a different video. But yeah, it's a nice length of rope, and super quick, enjoyable to do, pretty easy. You can see it's real tight there. You can see some nice tight spins on it there. It's a little looser, still tight. There's some good cordage. Right there is really loose right there. That's probably where it's going to break. But outside of that, I mean, those spins are more or less pretty tight. It's a good piece of rope. I'm going to use this on a basket, on a burden basket, just to tie things together. And I think it'll work out just fine. Blackberry isn't the strongest fiber, but it makes a good cordage.